Hey everybody, it is Gina DeLuca here. Today I am trying out a new product, the coconut milk, the OGX coconut milk anti-breakage serum. I've heard lots of wonderful things about it for making cells, and I thought I'd give it a try today. Today I will be using Liquitex Basics and tongue-tied today, dioxazine purple. We have the Liquitex Basics in the quinacridone magenta, but it also has a bit of the cerulean blue by Liquitex added just to tone that down a bit. I have Artist Loft Phthalo Green, a Liquitex Basics Cobalt Blue, and Artist Loft Old Gold. I have, these are 3-ounce cups, and I have 1 squirt of coconut milk in the cup. I'm also trying something else different today. I did 2 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint. There is a little bit of 91% alcohol mixed in to help pop the bubbles. I'm going to be laying down a base coat of white. There is no silicone in there. I found these awesome 1-ounce cups at Walmart. I'm a big stickler for using the right size cup. This is going to be a negative space piece, so I don't need a whole lot of colored paint to make this happen. If you do too much paint, then it's not a negative space piece anymore. Even if I were to move up to one of these 3-ounce cups, that would wind up being a lot of paint. I would really like to get some veiny action going. And if there's too much paint, then you lose your chance to get that. So these little tiny solo cups, I've poked 3 holes in the bottom of it with a nail. I would recommend doing this before you flip it. It was extremely hard getting the nail through there. I actually had to hammer it. So 3 holes, I covered it up. I'm going to give it a squirt of Blaster silicone. Shake it up really well if you use this. Some people use this to get their cells in between, squirt it in between layers or into the paint individually. Make sure you mix this stuff up because there's a lot of stuff in there other than silicone. And you don't want to get a squirt of just that. And when you spray it, avoid getting it anywhere near your canvas because you don't want your canvas to reject the paint. So I like to start with, well, it's negative space, so we have to, but even if it weren't, I start with a base coat. When you have silicone in your paint, if the paint is going directly onto the canvas, if the silicone hits the canvas first, it can leave you those craters that drive us all mad. Okay. I did notice that I was having some lumps in my Floetrol because I was at the end and I came up with this idea. I have an old alcohol bottle and I just took a piece of nylon and put it on there to use as a strainer because even when it just sits in a smaller bottle, it can still get a bit of a skin. You might have to change this out frequently, but it's better than pulling pieces of Floetrol out of your painting. All right. So let's give this a go here. So I'm going to start with a bit of white in my cup, just a bit. And now I'm going to layer the rest of the colors. I'll start with the magenta cerulean blue mix, some cobalt, purple, a bit of gold. I have to put metallics in every painting. I cannot help myself. Phthalo green. And when I put the coconut milk in, I put 1 squirt in each 3-ounce cup and just folded it in. I did not stir it. I want big cells. I don't want tiny cells. All right. Let's do a bit more white. We want to separate the colors that will not mix well. So green and purple are not friends. It's good to lay down a bit of a barrier between the two so you don't get mud. Complementary colors will make mud. I'm dripping on the canvas, but it's okay. That will probably wind up looking very cool. All right. Let me get these paints out of the way so as to not spill them. And this actually looks like it's small enough to fit on my scraper. All right. Okay, I'm gonna let this sit for a second. Now the reason that I use a small cup, the smallest cup that I find necessary, if you're using a bigger cup, you know, I've seen people mix a cup this size but only fill it up to there. When you flip it upside down, it's all running down your cup and mixing as it runs down your cup, which is not really what you want. You want them to be layers on your canvas, and that way you get cells. Okay, I'm actually going to lay down a little bit more white here. My scraper took some off. And I want this to just slide around. Oh, it wants to go. When you spray your cup, everything comes out. No waste in the cup. Okay. So now we have some beautiful cells coming up here. So right there, it looks like the cup scraped the paint off, but I'm sure we can get that situated. Now, I torch it now because I want big cells. So I'm going to torch it before I start stretching. Oh, dirty rat. Please remember when torching that we are just warming the paint. We are not making creme brulee. You do not want a crust to form on top. That is no good. Okay. I want to cover up that bald spot on my canvas. I don't want to lose too much, but I do want some to go over the edges.
That's looking pretty cool. This edge here is a little harder than I would like it to be. So, I'm going to take my trusty straw. I just use one of these little flexi straws. And I put the flexi end, so I have more control.
Definitely liking that better. Soften that edge up. All right, well, I do like this cell action. It looks good to me. We'll see how when this dries, if it does a lot of shifting on me. But I'm pleased with the results. I'm going to do another painting right now. I still have some paint left over. And I will just do a regular old flip cup, I think, and see what happens. But I will say that the coconut milk is definitely a winner. The cells just kind of came up pretty easily. Didn't have to work too hard for them. Let me pick this little corner here. Knowing when to walk away is the hardest part. All right, well, I say that it was a good purchase. It smells good too, so you can use it on your hair. And yeah, I say go give it a try. Go make some art. Please be sure to subscribe and like and all of that stuff to be notified when I will be putting up new paintings. All right. Have a good day.